What is up, guys? Drone Poison in the house, coming at you from a local spot. Beautiful day out. I come out to do some testing today. I got a new product from China Hobby Line, and they sent me out some dope pizza packs, okay? And these aren't your normal pizza packs. These are something new. Talking a 1350, 150C, freaking 6S Lipo. These things scream. Anyways, they have picked me up and decided to sponsor me, and so I'm very grateful. I have kind of shied away from their batteries in the past just because of the form factor. You know, the form factor being the big triangle, and you know, you put them on this way, you put them on this way, and either one side's hanging off the top plate or one side's standing up too high, throwing off your center of gravity. And I've always liked the square form factor. Anyways, so I don't know what exactly happened or why, but they decided to go ahead and mix it up. And this is what they've sent me. They sent me this beautiful little jewel. It's a freaking square. It fits on my quad perfectly. 1350, 150C. This thing's popping, dude. Like, it's got some serious punch. Like, I don't really know what to say other than to show you guys. Like, I'll be honest, you know, I've run Ovonics for a while in the past, and so that's the closest thing that I know other than like Thunder Power that can go up against this thing. And quite frankly, I think it skunks them both. Thunder Power, if you want a 1340 mAh, you're going to be looking at 50 bucks. The 1100, you're looking at 45 bucks. 1350, $38.99, dude. And these things scream. I'm going to tell you right now. I have the Ovonic 120C 1200, and they're almost the exact same freaking size. You know, the only thing is this weighs 214 grams, and I think it's basic 208. It's like 6 grams different. I'm gonna get to ripping, and I'm gonna actually put them up against each other. So I'm gonna do the 1100 blacks, right? The 1200 120, and the 1350 150. And we're gonna see if we can tell a difference. Like, I'm not gonna be playing music on this video or anything like that. I'm just, bottom line is, you know, I've been flying this for a couple of days now, and I was flying yesterday and got a little carried away because I was pretty excited about how powerful they were, and I didn't feel the sag kick in, and next thing you know, I was like at 15 volts. So I come flying in, skimmed the bushes of the house, and landed at 12.8. And I was like, holy crap, dude, I just smoked that brand new battery. And I went and grabbed the battery, and the thing was barely freaking warm. So I went and threw it on the charger. Cells were fine. Bounced right back, no problem. Checked the IR, still freaking sweet. So far, you know, I'm pretty impressed with them. We'll see how they do over time. But we're just gonna, today's just us coming out here, boys being boys, and we're gonna see if we can hear a little bit of a difference or feel a little bit of a difference. And I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion. You know, whether I'm sponsored or not doesn't really affect my opinion, quite frankly. I'm gonna be open and honest either which way, and that's just the way I am. If you guys know me, you know I got a little bit of integrity. So I thank you guys, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't watched, I am doing a build video giveaway for the Orca. I did a frame review, and I also did a build video on it. And those two videos, if you leave a comment in there saying that you want the frame that I'm giving away, which is a FlyFishrc 55, you guys can possibly win a new freaking free frame. It's come with some TPU and all that as well. I'm gonna do a overview of that frame, and during that I'm gonna also basically do that raffle. So if you guys haven't watched those, go over there and check them out. And if you guys want to help support your boy, there will be a link down below for these bad boys or any other of their products that you would like. You like the 1100 blacks or whatever, you want to help me out, kick me a couple bucks. It's an affiliate link, but I'd appreciate it. If not, no worries. You guys just have fun. And I appreciate you watching. If you could smash that subscribe button and hit the like button and help me defeat the algorithm. You guys have really been helping me grow this channel lately, and I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for everything you're doing. And I thank you to all my Patreons as well. It's another thing. If you guys want to support me, there's a Patreon link down below. Thank you, Big Oliy, for subbing and being my #1 supporter. And also, I appreciate you, Tate FPV, for joining that as well. What is up, guys? Drone Poison from the future. Wanted to jump in here real quick and just let you guys know that after you guys are done watching the flight footage, I've got some stats for you guys on these Lipo batteries. All right, so today what we're going to start out with is we're going to start out with the Syncmode. Got a little bit of beat up props on it. I'm just going to rock it the way it is. I'm not for sure if you guys in there are going to be on hyper smooth or not. I think you guys are, because normally this is the one I keep on my chest, and I just didn't switch it over, so it might be a smooth ride, it might be a rough ride, I don't know. Anyways, we're gonna fire up, and we're gonna start out with the 1100. All right, we'll take the nicest looking one, 1100 right here, and we're gonna give it a shot, and we're gonna see how this thing sounds and rips. And we're just gonna keep rolling straight on through if I can, as long as my GoPros last and all that goodness. And then maybe we'll switch over and I'll rock the same packs, like working back down on the Volador. So we'll go up from the 1100, 1200 to 1350 on the Syncmode, and then we'll work back down from 1350 to 1100 on the Volador. And we'll go from there and see how this thing really does. We're just gonna rip it up and have some fun surfing these freaking mountains out here. So I hope you guys enjoy the ride. And don't laugh at me, because I like to lean my head when I fly. I don't know why I do it, but I just can't help it. Anyways, I act a little goofy. So let's see how this thing goes. And we're gonna get ripping as soon as we're loaded up. All right. Wow, that's beautiful. All right. Ready? So that was our freaking 1100, dude, and came through like a rock star. A little warm, not bad at all. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this 120C Ovonic in here, and it's a 1200, so it's not quite gonna be the fair exact same thing as like the 1350 or the 1100, but it's what I had to compare with. So we'll see how it does. These are 120C. The blacks are 100C. So it's pretty amazing for 100C right there. I'm pretty shocked with how well that was freaking ripping. China Hobby Line is making me a fan for sure. Bad. It seemed like it was like a little bit soft at first, and after it got a little warmed up, it started flowing pretty good and was ripping pretty hard. A little bit hotter, definitely a little bit hotter than the 1100. And now the 1350. We're gonna see what happens, boys. I'm kind of excited. Oh, woo! Man, every time I put the goggles on, it's just freaking beautiful. All right, ready? That was on the Syncmode with the 1350. So it feels basically about as warm as the 1100. Did not very hot. All right, guys, thanks for checking out the flight footage. We're going to get down into the nitty-gritty business here and show you the numbers. All right, so far what we've got is we've got the 1100, the 1200, and the 1350. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and weigh them up. I'm going to bring on our scale here. Okay, so we're going to start out with 1100. We're coming in at 206 on the 1100, and on the 1200 we're coming in at 209. And on the 1350, 215. So we're coming in at 215. The average mAh per gram on the 1100, we're coming in at 4.3 mAh per gram. And on the 1200, we're coming in at 4.67 mAh per gram. And on the 1350, we're coming in at 4.92. Okay, and on each of these lipos, well, we did a rundown of mAh. So I charged them fully charged 4.2 and discharged them to 3 volts per cell. And what I came up with was for the 1100, it was coming in at 887 at 3 volts. So we got 887 usable mAh down to 3 volts. On the Ovonic, we came in at 976.5 for an average. And we also did the 1350, and we came in at 1059.5 usable mAh down to 3 volts. So that's our stats. None of them quite added up to the total face value. Down to 3 volts anyways, in my experience. They were all a little bit less. I don't know what the manufacturers are actually taking them down to get that mAh rating. But I ran the test, and I did it more than once. And I did the average, and that's what I came up with. So they're very close. Like if you took them down to maybe 2.7 per cell or something like that, you would probably get there. As far as flight times go, on average, the CNL 1100 did 2.43 seconds. And on the Ovonic, it did 2 minutes and 47.5 seconds. And on the CNHL 1350, it did 2 minutes 43 seconds. So I was a little bit harder on the CNHL because I was like trying to push it really when I was flying it. So I don't think it was really a fair comparison, because on the first flight I actually got 2 minutes and 31 seconds, and then I kind of held back a little bit on the second flight and I got 2:56. So 2:56 was actually the longest flight out of all the tests. Second being the 1100, coming in at 2 minutes and 51 seconds. As far as the face value of the mAh and what they actually came out to, the 1100 was short 213 mAh of its stated face value. And the 1200 was 223.5 mAh short of its stated face value. And the 1350 was 290.5 mAh short of its stated face value. All of them came up short. That's just on my equipment. I'm using a Thunder Power charge station. It's a pretty good charger. And for my final conclusion, I mean, to me, guys, it's all just a matter of what you like and your preference. I am definitely liking the form factor, basically, that they've decided to change up. I mean, if you look at the originals, you know, to here, they fit on the quad better, you know, because if you're mounting upward like this to stay on the top plate, then you have a higher center of gravity. If you lower it down, then your edges are hanging off and can get hit by the props or whatnot. So for me, it's a big win. The power on these things is pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys can really tell in the audio, but on the 1100, it was like you can hear when it peaks out, and it's almost like my motors have reached their max, and you can hear them maxing out. But with the 1200, you can definitely hear it scream up to that point as well, and it's definitely more snappier than the 1100. It's a 100C versus a 120C. It's not really a fair competition. But when you listen to the 1350 the whole time, it's like as I'm just easing into the throttle, like it's like that max RPM is on tap like so quick. It's just instant response. Definitely enjoying the 1350, and in my honest opinion, if I can keep running these like day in and day out, then I would be perfectly happy. The power, the weight, to me, I'm not a big weight snob, but I know a lot of people are. But for me, I try to keep my builds light, and I'm not running an action cam typically. I did in this
instance for you guys, so you guys can kind of get a little bit of the audio, sound, and whatnot. Typically, I don't run an HD cam anymore, so for me, the weight going to a little bit heavier battery isn't a big deal. But if you look at the weight comparison, China Hobby Line basically has more energy and more mAh per gram of weight, so it's far better. As far as efficiency goes when it comes to weight to mAh ratio. I do believe that in my testing over the last few days, I have had longer flight times with the 1350s. If you're looking for a really budget battery, the 1100 is hard to beat. All right, guys. So to me, at the end of the day, the big winner here is the 1350 from China Hobby Line. For me, it just works. I love the form factor. I love the weight. The weight to power ratio is better than these two. Now, if you're a cheapskate and you just want to get cheap batteries and go out and rip, the 1100, perfectly fine. 1200, perfectly fine. Whatever the case may be. But for me, as far as feeling goes and just the way that my quads were flying, the 1350 is the winner. I know you guys can't exactly tell how it felt on the sticks. I tried to give you the best impression I could, but overall the 1350 is where it's at. It's 150C. The only downfall that I seen is that because it's 150C, you can drain it really quick because it just puts out that energy and there's like no bottleneck, so it pumps it right out. In my testing, I was pushing it to the limit and they just barely got warm. They never once got super hot, which is a good sign that the internal resistance is really good. As far as when I measured it, it was excellent. Even with me abusing one of them, they've both been just solid. I don't really know which one was which. They both are still going great. If you guys are looking for a decent price Lipo for under 40 bucks that can really perform great, these are them. I am looking forward to testing more of their batteries in the future, and I hope you guys tune into that. So far, what I've been able to test is the 1100 and the 1350. Both of them, I think, are great. The Ovonics are the only thing I really had to compare. I used to run Thunder Power in the past, and they just got too expensive for me, honestly. And Ovonic, is a good budget battery as well. But hands down, the winner here is the 1350. All right, thanks guys for tuning in and watching this review. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you smash that like button and the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest content from me, your boy. I appreciate it. You guys stay fly and keep it in the sky.